Breaking news. We now have two, not one, but two days in a row of an enhanced risk of severe weather. Hello, I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor. And in this video, we're going to be going over the severe threat as well as the winter weather threat that is going on in other states right here. Let's go ahead and just kick it off with the severe threat and everything like that. So let's dissect all this real quickly. So basically, we have an enhanced risk of severe weather in parts of the Florida Panhandle as well as southern Georgia, including Tallahassee, Florida. You can see that right there. Tallahassee, Albany, Georgia, Panama City, Thomasville, those areas right there. So those are in the enhanced risk. Slight risk goes all the way from New Orleans to Raleigh, all the way down to Central Florida, right there. So you can tell there's a huge range of the slight risk and severe weather right there. You can tell that right there. Then there's the marginal risk that kind of borders a little bit by that. Gives it has Atlanta under it and everything. The rest of eastern North Carolina, including Wilmington, Charleston, those areas right there. Generic thunderstorms everywhere else you can see on the map. Let's take a look at the synopsis right here in the southern states. Only minor changes have been made on the ongoing forecast. Okay. A large and persistent band of thunderstorms extends across the northeast Gulf of Mexico into North Florida. This convection has slightly modified the air mass over the region and is limiting the northward return of rich Gulf moisture. Most models substantially weaken this activity by the late afternoon, allowing rapid return of 70s dew points into parts of southern Georgia and northern Florida. That's a really high amount of moisture right there. So that already it's showing a setup for severe weather in the late afternoon. So that's not good. While the scenario remains quite possible, confident on how far north the tropical air mass can return is in question. We will not adjust the enhanced risk at this time and defer to later updates. So already right here. Otherwise, it appears the severe risk will develop over the southern Louisiana, Mississippi after dark as the upper wave approaches. This activity will spread eastward along the Gulf Coast and into the enhanced risk area after midnight. The forecast sounding suggests low-level shear will strengthen through the night ahead of the cold front, with a risk of risk of supercells and tornadoes in those areas where the rich Gulf moisture can return farther north across parts of Georgia and the Carolinas. Bowing structures capable of damaging winds and isolated tornadoes appear to be the main threat. So this looks like to be an overnight thing that's going on right here, the overnight severe weather situation that may be going on. This looks like it's going to be overnight. Now let's take a look at the day 2 outlook, because this is pretty interesting right here. We'll go back and talk about the threats and everything like that. I just want to get these enhanced risk things out of the way. So the enhanced risk includes Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, Georgia, right there. Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, Jacksonville, North Carolina, North Charleston, South Carolina as well. The slight risk goes all the way from southern New Jersey down to Orlando, Florida, including cities like Raleigh, Virginia Beach, Jacksonville, and as mentioned, Orlando and Tampa. The marginal risk goes to Fort Myers in Florida, as well as gives you a little bit of a border. So this thing looks really concentrated, at least in the eastern Carolina as well as in Savannah, Georgia, right there. So let's take a look at the synopsis. An upper air trough will move eastward across Ohio and the Tennessee valleys on Saturday as a powerful 100 to 120 knot mid-level jet moves quickly northeastward from the central Gulf Coast to the eastern seaboard. At the surface, a cold front is forecast to be positioned at 12 Zulu or 6 a.m. Saturday, 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Saturday from the eastern Florida Panhandle to the central Carolinas to Maryland. Ahead of the front, the surface dew points should be mostly in the 60s degrees Fahrenheit from northern Florida to eastern North Carolina. A squall line should be ongoing from the start of the period near the front, and this feature will move quickly eastward across northern Florida, southeast Georgia, and the eastern Carolinas during the morning. So that overnight stuff is going to bleed into the morning in the Carolinas and Georgia and everything. So there's that situation. The mid-level jet is forecast to translate quickly northeastward into the eastern Carolinas during this morning, where the instability and shear will be maximized. So this isn't good. This isn't good right here for severe weather and everything. And I'll talk about the threats and what we could expect in these areas. So, yeah, a band of focused large-scale ascent combined with very strong wind fields will be favorable for wind damage along the more intense parts of the squall line as it approaches the coast. A tornado threat is also possible with rotating cells embedded in wind damage. An isolated tornado threat will also accompany the leading edge of the squall line, but the severe threat should be a bit more isolated in north-central Florida due to the lessening lift and shear of the southward extent. So already we can see there's two severe weather days in a row right here. So this thing is not kidding around right here. This is part of a nor'easter that's going to hit New England. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But before we do, we need to talk about the threats that are going on. Let's start with the hail threat, which is actually the smallest threat. The hail threat is only 5% from New Orleans to Jacksonville right there. You can see it right there. The tornado threat, is the next biggest threat right here. You can see there is a 10% chance of that from in Tallahassee and the Florida Panhandle, southern Georgia as well. That's why they issued the enhanced risk. Also with the wind threat, we'll talk about that in just a second. Another thing, the 5% risk for today for tornadoes goes all the way from North Carolina down to New Orleans, down to Jacksonville, Florida. 2% goes through the marginal risk. Now the wind threat by far, the wind threat by far is the biggest threat right here. 30% chance in the same area right there. 15% chance from New Orleans to Raleigh, North Carolina to just north of Orlando, and a 5% chance for the rest of eastern North Carolina into a little bit more into Florida and a little bit more into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. All right, so that's day one outlook. The day two outlook is a bit more interesting. The hail threat hasn't changed very much. It's still 5% right here from Jacksonville and Charleston, Savannah. The wind threat is still 30%. That's why they issue the enhanced risk right here. The NWSSPC, including Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, and parts of eastern North and South Carolina. The tornado threat is less here tomorrow morning. So it's only 5% from Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, from the eastern Carolinas into Georgia, into northern Florida, including Jacksonville. 2% for the more Florida, as well as a little bit more into Carolina and Virginia. So basically, that's what we're looking at right here with the threats. Now let's move on to the wintry aspect of it, which, when I mean wintry, I generally mean quite a bit of snow that's going to fall. There's winter storm warnings from Alabama all the way to Vermont, as well as into Maine. There's a winter storm watch in effect in northern New Hampshire and western Maine. So we'll be keeping an eye on this situation. We're going to go through the most important ones right here. This is a winter storm warning issued for Nashville, Tennessee. Heavy snow expected. Total snow accumulations of 3 to 6 inches. Winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. From the eastern middle Tennessee, including the upper. This is for eastern Tennessee, including the upper Cumberland and Cumberland Plateau. From 9 p.m. this evening to 8 a.m. Saturday. Impacts. Travel could be very difficult. Some trees and power lines maybe got knocked down due to the weight of the snow, with scattered power outages possible. So I would advise not traveling while the storm is going on and everything until the storm's passed. Heck, it would be like nighttime when this happens, so I don't understand why you'd be traveling anyway. But speaking of which, we have another winter storm warning. This is for Charleston, West Virginia. They are still getting snow. I know it is March and meteorological spring was 10 days ago and everything, but there's still areas in the country that are getting snow. 4 to 6 inches of it in West Virginia right here. For portions of Southwest Virginia, actually, as well as for portions of Southwest Virginia and pretty much most of West Virginia, from 1 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday. Impacts. Travel could be very difficult to impossible. In addition, visibility may be restricted at times due to heavy bursts of snow. So if you're in West Virginia or western parts of Virginia, do not travel. Just don't. While the storm is going on, it could get particularly bad. Now, this is the winter storm warning. This is up in Pennsylvania right here. Now, this is the winter storm warning for parts of Pennsylvania right here. Winter storm warning in effect from 7 p.m. this evening to 7 p.m. Saturday, so potentially a 24-hour event. Heavy snow expected. Total snow accumulations of 5 to 7 inches. Winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. This is for Warren, Elk, and Cameron counties. Okay, let's actually go back and just figure. Let's actually go to the Scranton area. See if we can. Okay. This is let's see if the storm. This is in Brighton, New York's jurisdiction. I want to check the Scranton severe winter storm warning real quickly. Okay, we just got it up. This is for parts of Pennsylvania right here. This is for the Scranton area right here. Heavy snow expected. Total snow accumulations of 6 to 10 inches. Winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. So that's if those winds are doing that for 3 hours and the visibility goes down to a quarter of a mile, those are blizzard conditions right there. So I would not travel at this point. This goes on from 1 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday. This is for Pennsylvania, northwest Pennsylvania, and parts of southern New York right there. Impacts travel could be very difficult. Areas of blowing snow could significantly reduce visibility. Additional details. Heavy snow could produce snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour for a time late tonight into Saturday morning. So even though it's March, we're still getting the 1 to 2 inch range per hour right here. So that tells you how powerful the storm is potentially going to get. Now, this is for the Utica area right here in New York. Same thing, 6 to 10 inches, winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour this time. So, yeah, this thing is not kidding around at this point. This starts at 10 p.m. this evening and goes on till 1 a.m. on Sunday. Impacts travel could be very difficult. I would not advise traveling right there. So, basically, long story short, if you're in New York, Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania, that area, I would not travel while the storm is going on. But anyway, let's take a look at the GFS to time it all out for you guys. So this is today is March 11th, 2022. Right here, you can see it's right here. Basically, okay, never mind. All right, so basically, this is what it's going to look like. You can see. All right, did not mean to do that. Thank you. So you can basically see the storm is starting to develop. You can see that low is developing right here. This is midnight on for tomorrow and everything. This is where potentially the severe weather will start right here, and then blow through the Carolinas, as well as the same time very heavy snow in parts of Georgia and the Carolinas right here. I will say that very heavy snow right here, and then moves through. Like, look at how extreme. This is an extremely heavy band of snow right here in eastern Virginia right here. So I would not travel if you're in that area and this storm's going through. And then this thing will move out. It'll move out. The last snow will exit the United States around on March 13th, right there for you guys. So there it is. So yeah, there you have it right there. Basically, that's the GFS. This is the timing of this nor'easter as well as those severe storms in the south. Now, this is the amount of snow everyone could get. This is the HER model right here that I'm taking a look at right here. So basically, there is a good range, like in Tennessee, like some in Tennessee, like 3 to 5 inches right there. Like in parts of the mountains, though, they could see up to a foot of snow right there if the HER is correct. But yeah, and if you notice, more in the mountain ranges and everything like that, like look at Loudoun and I'm looking at Northern Virginia, like particularly Loudoun and Fairfax County right there, like potentially getting 8 inches of snow right there. DC could get clipped. Parts of Maryland could see that. So that's pretty impressive right there. Now let's take a look at the wrap right here. Let's go back to this one right there. Okay. Okay, there we go. This is the 9 Zulu or 4 a.m. 3 a.m. run right here. The 15 right here is still in development right there. You can take a look at this right here. Actually, it's close to complete. So let's take a look at this new run. So yeah, parts of Tennessee, they could see potentially 6 to 8 inches of snow right here. West Virginia could see a huge band of potentially 6 to 10 right there. Upstate New York, that area could see more snow right there. Last small we're going to look at today is the NAM. So the NAM, interestingly, has it more like concentrated into the snow in the north, like in New York, Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, that area, and has less of it in the south. So that's pretty interesting right there. Still, Tennessee could see a lot of snow in the mountains right there. Potentially 15 inches of snow in parts of New York, in Vermont right there, which Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that and everything, but with that being said, I is going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will update you guys as the situation develops, and with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.